Hey Jim, it's Mike. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of something I thought I would talk about on Tuesday night. And I looked at the three main problems our clients have. They have poor sleep, no energy, and can't lose weight, just like the three buttons, right? So, how are we going to go about addressing that? It's not just that simple of an approach. And most people who have poor sleep have no energy and they can't lose weight. And I want to get away from the calorie model and start talking a little bit more about the hormonal model, because that's what Paul Sullivan and the whole medical board has been putting into our product. So, real quick, what happens when you can't sleep? You have increased stress. And increased stress increases the amount of cortisol you have. And cortisol keeps you awake. And the reason for that is this. It's a stress hormone, and it's a fight or flight hormone. So we have two systems in the body. We have a sympathetic, we have a parasympathetic. Basically, sympathetic is excitatory, and parasympathetic is recovery. And we should be sleeping at night to recover. So when we have a high amount of cortisol, it stops us from sleeping. And what it really does is it turns off melatonin production. So you could take all the melatonin in the world. If your cortisol levels are high, you're not going to be able to fall asleep. So what do people do when they can't sleep? They eat. They get up and they can eat anything they want. They usually eat a sugary snack or maybe something that's high in fat and salt. And we know that if you put salt, fat, and sugar together in anything, you can get anybody to eat just about anything. Like potato chips and pretzels is fat, salt, and sugar. Anything with ketchup on it is fat, salt, and sugar, okay? So what happens when your cortisol levels are high and you eat a sugary substance? You increase your insulin levels. And cortisol plus insulin equal fat storage. So we want to get the cortisol in check, because every time we keep the cortisol high, it decreases melatonin secretion. Okay, so let's look at some of the quick stresses. We have financial, emotional, we can also put environmental, I gotta put that in, spiritual, mental, physical, and relational, right? And what could cause a physical stress? Somebody has a low blood sugar, someone's on a very low calorie diet is going to cause their blood sugar to bottom out, and that can cause the physical stress. Or exercising too late at night, coming home from hockey practice, 11 o'clock, I can't fall asleep. So when you produce cortisol, okay, why do we produce cortisol? Why is that important? There is a good thing for cortisol. It helps to keep you awake. So if you're on top of the guard tower at midnight and the enemy's advancing on you, you don't want to fall asleep. But moreover, cortisol is required for the body to make sugar out of protein. It's a process called gluconeogenesis. Not a big deal, but we might make reference to that. So let's talk about lack of sleep and the ability not to have any energy. You can't lose weight. The reason you can't lose weight is because cortisol and lack of sleep is not a calorie thing, it's a hormonal thing. So we need to produce a hormonal effect to fix it. So what do? We give our clients something called sleep. Sleep has 5-HTP and L-theanine in it. And those are precursors to serotonin. And serotonin is your happy hormone, okay? But when you do that, you naturally lower the stress on the body and you decrease cortisol. And now your body naturally produces more melatonin. It will help you fall asleep and stay asleep. But let's address some of the other things here. What about if your blood sugar is real low? Well, that's why the second thing we tell people to do is take branched chain amino acids, which is in our sleep product. And lean has, in our lean product. And lean has no excitatory additives to it. There's no stimulants in lean. It's branched chain amino acids and some vitamins and minerals that'll help you to sustain healthy levels of blood sugar. So when the brain has adequate amount of sugar, it's not going to produce cortisol. If your blood sugar starts to bottom out, your brain's going to start stimulating the production of cortisol, because you need cortisol to break protein down in the liver to create sugar. So what happens when we take a branched chain amino acid product is branched chain amino acid is a amino acid. It's a protein, and it'll break down very, very quickly in the liver and become glucose. So you won't get elevated cortisol levels, because there's no reason to, because you have adequate amount of glucose. The other thing is, in the hydrate is very high in magnesium, that's the Mg. And that's one of the vitamins and minerals, it's a mineral, that you need for glucose metabolism. So if your brain has to burn sugar, having high levels of magnesium are optimal for the brain to do that. So let me make sure I'm on track here. I don't want to go, I'm speeding through this very, very quickly. So the whole idea of having no energy, well, part of the no energy has to do with inadequate glucose supply going to the brain, because the brain basically controls everything. And can't lose weight is because you have high cortisol levels. High cortisol levels cause you to eat inappropriately, and when you eat inappropriately, you have too high a level of insulin, and insulin plus cortisol equal fat storage. So I know I've been talking for 6 minutes. I can make this into slides, make it very, very clear, and I think it would give people in our group an opportunity to understand a little bit more of why you just can't take a sleep strip, why that sometimes doesn't do the trick, why you need to be on ID nutrition, if you're still having trouble with sleep, why you need to take lean, and why you need to take hydrate with it. I can break this science down a little bit, make it a little easier. I think with the slides, it's going to be a whole lot easier with my voiceover, because I'll have pictures and illustrations and all that kind of stuff. So let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.